Hey, you're welcome. This is Dawn Kryptonium. And as Cosmoverse happen, as Cosmoverse going to the finish, we have some of the interesting news. We got some news that made people very excited. We got some news that made people not that excited, that brought some controversy. And today, we're going to discuss those news. This is me. This is him. This is Dawn Kryptonium. So before we start, make sure you hit the like button. And now, let's proceed to the discussion. Okay, so the first news I wanted to address, and the first news that I felt people were really excited, were Nomik. I watched the presentation of Nomik by the Matt Bell, founder of Nomik. So for those who don't know, Nomik is the bridge that meant to bring you native Bitcoin to Cosmos. Finally, because the most used Bitcoin everywhere is actually wrapped Bitcoin, So from that conference, from the speech of Matt Bell, like what was especially exciting, because usually when it comes to the bridges, you rely on the wrapping mechanism. Once the bridge gets exploited, you lose your funds. So on this speech, what happens, Matt said, if the all Nomik validators would decide to pull out the plug, let's say you breach a lot of Bitcoin and validators like, oh, we're gonna turn it off. Automatically, this Bitcoin is going to be reverted to your Bitcoin address, making it very secure, making it native Bitcoin existing in Cosmos. And there was a lot of security updates. There was a lot of great news about their code base. They built their own stack fully in Rust, which I believe many other blockchains in the future will be able to use that. So once we have this native Bitcoin, obviously we need other projects to adopt it, and it seems there is need and there is projects that are interested. So first of all, there is Osmosis, wants to integrate. And what's really cool, so this was one of the most bullish things, the problem with bridges is user experience, when you deposit somewhere, and centralized exchanges, as Matt said, are beating decentralized competition with that. Because how you do the Bitcoin, they give you the address and it says send from the Bitcoin to this address. So you will not have difficult experience like it's the bridge. Osmosis and Kujira will integrate the seamless deposit that was built by Nomik to deliver great user experience. So you will have Bitcoin address, you go to Osmosis, and you have your Bitcoin on the ledger or in the hot wallet. You go to Osmosis and it gives you the QR or it gives you the address deposit. You take this address and you send from your Bitcoin address, and within the time as transaction is processed, you get your native Bitcoin on Osmosis or Kujira. So this is great subject on the Osmosis, and what I think is going to happen if Osmosis is sharing that, I believe this native BTC will play a crucial role. So what we can expect, it probably will be heavily incentivized, I assume, because Bitcoin is so important. So quite likely they will incentivize this with the Osmosis, and I assume NOM, which is security token of Nomik, also will be used for incentives of those pools. And also here is, as I'm scrolling this, withdrawing back to your Bitcoin address. So let's say you provide liquidity, you earn the rewards, you swap them into NBTC, and now you are done and you want to exit back to your Bitcoin address. You will be able to do it simply with withdraw. You click the withdraw, you paste your Bitcoin address, and it's back on your Bitcoin. So this will be full and great integration that will happen. Obviously, also Kujira announced it right away. So we can assume these two projects, and I spoke about Kujira before, that Kujira probably will be the first. And Kujira gives you the variety of products. Kujira gives you lending, borrowing. Kujira gives you the order book. I think Kujira in the future will give you much more, possibly perpetual tradings as well. This is just my guess. But Kujira brings this big DeFi ecosystem, and we know so far this big DeFi ecosystem couldn't really rely on the native Bitcoin. So finally we will be able to do, and the same with Kujira, like you can see they actually all prepared already how you are going to deposit this, and they made this very short video. You will go to Kujira, you will click deposit, you will have Bitcoin address, and you deposit, and then you can farm it. Perhaps there will be pools, NBTC slash Kuji, maybe NBTC slash stablecoin, and many other assets. What I would like to see, that if it's really that secure, I would love to see NBTC being one of the native assets of the wider Cosmos ecosystem. And once you have the deep liquidity of that NBTC, of course, that can be used in many other products. That can be used in the perps trading as well. That might be used in accumulating large number of BTC. So what I wanted to find, obviously you will be able to trade NBTC on Fin, which is the order book. You will be able to dollar cost average your native Bitcoin with Calc Finance as well, so there is a lot of things regarding NBTC that I'm especially excited. Many people would wonder what with NOM. NOM will be security token in this case, so I'm not sure what will be the fee for the bridging. Probably something not too high, and maybe it will be capped. But people who bridge the Bitcoin, there will be very small fee, and the stakers of NOM token will be earning NBTC. In this case, you will be earning the real yield that's paid to you in NBTC, and obviously inflation or token issuance that will come from the NOM rewards. So this is probably the project that I'm most excited. Somehow this project got great natural occurring community. They did the airdrop. This token was never traded, but every time you drop the Nomik news, you can see the community gets crazy. It gets the tons of engagement on Twitter, which shows you that people do really want native Bitcoin in Cosmos. Also, how you will be actually able. So this is great for Kujira. The third one. I'm not preparing the videos. I usually go with the videos. Just checking what's going on here. So even more utility for bids on Orca. Many people were happy because when liquidations happen, people can get Atom for 10, 20, even 30% cheaper. Imagine you will be bidding on Bitcoin on Orca, and once the price dumps, once the liquidation happens, you can get the Bitcoin below the market price. Okay, so a lot of great DeFi systems, I assume, will be built on top of NBTC. One more thing that I got from that conference, that Nomik will be time stamped on Bitcoin, which is really cool because this is something that Babylon is coming to timestamp other blockchains for security, and Nomik was also working on that to ensure that the security will be really top notch, because they know they bring the Bitcoin and that needs to be very secure. So from the other news, we have some of the Osmosis news, and I will tell you, I really like both Osmosis and Kujira. I never covered maybe that much of Osmosis. I even heard the voices. I dislike Osmosis. I want to make it clear. Osmosis is the best AMM in Cosmos, and also great news came from Osmosis. You cannot see it very close, but there is the full presentation of the great user experience, and also what is coming, I believe is coming order book to Osmosis, so something similar to Kujira. And Osmosis already has great user experience. Maybe it's because I got used to, I like swapping my tokens on Osmosis, very intuitive, and from what I see from the screens, this user experience getting better. We had a lot of gossips that maybe Osmosis will be acquired by the hub, and to be honest, I happily learned that it doesn't happen. Osmosis has big market cap, so it probably would cost a lot of money, and everyone thought about this. It was announced, and the sentiment on the Twitter was people don't really want this, and I'm happy because Osmosis has the problems, okay? One of the worst mistakes that Osmosis did was bonding all the ecosystem to the Osmo token, okay? Osmosis has great user experience, Osmosis didn't have great economics. And I think this is the reason why they suffered, but it doesn't mean there is no way of coming out of this. If Osmosis now is going to focus on bringing more liquidity to native Bitcoin, bringing more liquidity to stable coins, I think it will protect itself, okay? It might not reflect in the price, but it still might be most popular AMM in Cosmos. And I see they work, they deliver great products. So this is another things that caught my attention and many other attention. I think Nomik and Osmosis got most attention on the Cosmoverse, on the positive news. And something that doesn't seem to catch that much of positive attention is Stride being acquired, or rather proposing being acquired by the hub. So everyone expected that will be Osmosis, and maybe the Osmosis folks were thinking, just as I said now, hey, we are not in the great moment, but we have great product, and it makes sense to rely on our own set of validators than giving up the governance to the Cosmos and giving up the product, because we believe that this product can still be great, and we have also investors that expect from us to deliver. So there is this proposal coming, and there is few things to address about the Stride, okay? So acquiry by the hub, how it would look, and why it could perhaps happen. So there is this proposal that you will exchange your Stride token for Atom tokens, that the Stride token will cease to exist, that there will be no Stride token used for governance, and that the native token of the Stride blockchain will be Atom, okay? So, first of all, like, Stride is the best liquid staking protocol in Cosmos. It's been successful, and many people enjoyed that the Stride paid them real yield in those liquid staked assets. You know, this is few percent, but they have the product that actually pays. And if you stake Stride token, you earned ST Atom, ST Osmo, and others. So why would they change? Okay, I think maybe if they will do it, they can expect more of the atoms being liquid staked. I'm not sure. But it seems they had products, so like kind of people are confused why they are doing this. So a few things I want to say, like, you know, I don't want to be overly positive or negative about this. I'm trying to think and present the news. So first of all, I think everyone expected, once the liquid staking protocol, that there will be a lot of atoms being staked. And it's not the case, you know. As of now, I think total assets is still below 40 million for the Stride blockchain, and this APR is at few percent, so it's not some crazy numbers that is generating, you know. It really needs hundreds, millions of tokens being liquid staked, but it seems it's very difficult to compete with the native token, especially having 10% fee on top. So maybe that influenced the decision, that there was not doing as great as it expected, and it was like, yeah, maybe it makes sense to sell it. You know, when it comes to the token itself, and when it comes to exit liquidity, if people hold a lot of Stride tokens, it's impossible to sell them. You know, in fact, I think if you sell 50,000 of the Stride token, it crashes the price by 40%. Okay, so of course, you have the chain value that is at $66 million, but if you would like to sell, exit, you can maximum sell. I don't think you can even sell 100,000 tokens, okay? Like, I mean you could, but you completely crash the price, okay? So this price of Stride is dependent bigly because of the lack liquidity out there. So, for example, for founders, like, you know, they cannot exit. They earn the yield by staking the tokens, but they cannot exit. So once those tokens would be exchanged, obviously the chain become more liquid, because once you replace it, it's easy to sell, you know. So some people, this is on the concerns, would be, hey, that gives an exit liquidity for people who hold the Stride token and cannot exit. The other thing is investors. So I'm thinking how investors will react if this is the possibility, because investors bought the Stride token on assumption that it will attract a lot of the liquidity and will pay them real yield, and now they will get replaced with the Atom token. So what will be the future of people investing in the other Cosmos chains existing in the IBC or even like Atom Economic Zone? Probably they will be hesitant to maybe they will be hesitant to invest in the tokens, So also how it would happen, this is another concern, because Cosmos Hub doesn't really have this number of tokens. So how it would happen, there would have to be proposal that will be like, hey, mint 70 million of additional Atom and then Stride will be replaced. So the problem is like, will the community will go for it? I don't think they will vote yes, to be honest. So this is the issue. And another issue is like, is the Stride actually worth $70 million, considering that token is not that liquid? Okay, so that's need to be answered. But obviously, you cannot undercut the Stride holders. You cannot. I'm not sure if you can even give them 1-to-1. But even more, you cannot give them half for one, right? But is it worth 66 million? Well, it's the result of the current liquidity. So there is a lot of questions and a lot of things if it happens to do it right for those who have vested tokens, so they don't necessarily dump the Atom. If you print this number of Atom, it can reflect on the price. Atom is large market cap. I'm not sure if it reflects that much on the price. We had big institutions dumping $100 million and nothing happened. So I'm not expert in that area. But how many chains Atom will want to acquire, and this truly will bring utility to Atom. Maybe not that much, but that means Atom is used within the wider ecosystem. So if you have other chains, then Atom is then native token on liquid staking protocol. Maybe then you will have some DEX, then Atom will be native token on some DEX. I'm not sure if Duality will have it, which is on Neutron, etc. So there is like a lot of controversy around that. I wouldn't count that it's already done deal, because it will be difficult to convince community to give up the blockchain. And we can discuss here when it comes to other blockchains. This channel is sponsored by the Stargaze. I get a lot of information like that the price of stars is going down. A lot of tokens struggle now. Like that's question asked. Like that. I mean that's the done deal. Like the tokens struggle. But what I want to say that a lot of these blockchains, maybe Stride, they have very special community that decides on the governance, that decides on the direction of the blockchain, and they feel very loyal to the blockchain. And I think acquiring by the Cosmos Hub done to the blockchains like a Stride is troublesome, because these people now feel, hey, we have to give up the governance to the Cosmos Hub validators, right? So once it happens, you can see it's essentially given to SG1, to Everstake. Everstake was big to Zero Knowledge validator, right? So these validators that not necessarily closely related to those communities, and I think those communities are not gonna be happy with that. So I do think some sort of DAO token will be needed, or at least for the products that are released there, right? Or like this merge is like that, yeah, we mainly focus on the Atom, but then also when you will have new chains, like let's say Celestia and others, will they be so keen to choose Stride as the liquid staking provider if they rely on the Cosmos Hub validator, or there is more need now for, more of the liquid staking apps? So I think I covered this all. There is also the game Flappy Dawn that you perhaps have seen on the Cosmoverse. So this is not on the blockchain. I'm very happy that someone actually deciding to use the Dawn Kryptonium, because, well, I obviously suck. I'm happy that someone is using Dawn Kryptonium, the persona to play. This is Dawn Kryptonium is open source. Everyone can use it. unless you prey on Don Kryptonium. That's not good. But anyway, this video is long. There was a lot of to address, just trying to present you some overall sentiment that was on the Cosmoverse. This month, hopefully, more updates on the Stargaze. There will be AMM pools, and there is also the IBC chat coming. So hopefully, something that will bring some excitement back. But overall, I'm excited for Cosmos. To be honest, there is a lot of stuff coming. There is a lot of stuff happening, and I'm less bearish than I was. I'm actually majority bullish. It doesn't mean I'm happy for everything, I try to be nice because already many people hate me, so I need to be careful. With that, like button if you forgot. Don Kryptonium's out. Till the next time.